Good day to everyone. We all went inside a cinema once to watch a movie or two, right? I'm pretty sure that you also saw notices like these before entering a cinema. We can all agree that this is a signage telling us that it's prohibited to bring recording devices such as video cameras. But have you wondered why we are forbidden to bring such recording devices? Actually, it's not prohibited to bring our recording devices. It's just we are not allowed to use it for recording the movie or show that we are watching. This prohibition is stated in the Republic Act 188. What is RA 188? What are the things that we should take note regarding this law? This is one of the reasons why I'm here today with you, to brief you the things that you need to know about RA 188. And the other is discourage you to illegally record a movie or a film.
Again, good day. Now I'm going to present to you the information you need to know about RA 188, or also known as the Anti-Camcording Act of 2010. First of all, let me give you a brief history about the law, on how it became a Republic Act that we have today. On February 16, 2009, the House Bill number 5699 was filed by Representatives Erwin Tieng, Bene Velarde, Carissa Cosculuela, Bienvenido Abante Jr., and the others for concurrence. Why does it need an accompaniment, you might ask? It's because for a bill to become a law, the legislative body has to approve the bill first, before sending it to the other legislative body for approval. For example, a bill filed from the Senate must be approved first before it will be sent to the House of Representatives for their approval. Once the bill is approved by the two legislative bodies, it can now be sent to the President for him or her to sign the bill into a law. Moving on, after the bill was filed, on November 11, 2009, it was recommended by the Public Information and Mass Media Committee and Trade and Commerce Committee to be considered in Senate Bill 3529. After it was approved to be consolidated, on January 25, 2010, members of the Senate and the House of Representatives held a conference to talk about the disagreeing provisions between the two bills, namely House Bill number 5699 and the Senate Bill 3529. It took roughly 3 months before the final consolidated version of the two bills was sent to the House of Representatives for the signature of the Speaker and the Secretary General on March 18, 2010. But after receiving the signed consolidated version on April 8, 2010, the consolidated bill was sent to the Office of the President on April 14 for approval. Finally, on May 13, 2010, the former President Gloria Arroyo signed the bill into law, which became the Republic Act 188. And now, with the history of the Republic Act 188 laid out, let's start discussing the fine print of the law. But before we do that, let me give you the definitions of some terms used in the Republic Act, so you won't get confused. First, we have the audiovisual work. It consists of a series of related images which are intended to be shown by the use of machines such as projectors. Examples of these are films. Next, we have the audiovisual device. It is any device capable of recording an audiovisual work. Example of these are video recorders, cameras. Next, we have the exhibition facility. It can be any venue that is used to exhibit audiovisual works, such as film theaters and screening rooms. And last, authorized persons. These are the persons that are members of the Philippine National Police and the National Bureau of Investigation. Now that you know the definitions of these words, we can now proceed to the prohibited acts of this law. What actions does the Anti-Camcording Act prohibit exactly? The Section 3 of the law clearly specifies these forbidden acts. 1 is the use or attempted use of an audiovisual device to make a copy of the performance in an exhibition facility. 2 is to possess an audiovisual device with the intent to make a copy of the performance in an exhibition facility. And last is to assist and encourage anyone to commit the acts listed above. With the prohibited acts laid out to you, I know you might ask me, what if I recorded a movie for my own personal use and don't intend to make money out of it? Am I still criminally liable for my actions? Just like reproducing a part of a copyrighted book without obtaining the author's consent, It is not a legal defense to say that you recorded a movie, for example, but intend to use it for your own personal reasons and don't intend to make money out of it. Under Section 6 of RA 188, it shall not be a defense that the transmission or making of the copy of the cinematographic film or other audiovisual work or its soundtrack or any other part thereof was for private or domestic purposes or in connection with a fair use deal. Let me repeat, it shall not be a defense. Just imagine if Section 6 wasn't included. Then everyone that violated this law will just say that they recorded a movie for their own personal use. Good thing that this section was clearly stated in the law. According to Section 4, if you are proven in court guilty of violating the Anti-Camcording Act, you will be penalized with prison sentence ranging from 6 months and 1 day to a maximum of 6 years and 1 day, and the fine of 50,000 pesos to 750,000 pesos. Also, the penalty will be imposed to the maximum if the unauthorized copy of the film was intended for commercial distribution. And if the government employee or official is the offender of the crime, then they will be relieved of their duties and will be unable to vote for 5 years. If the offender is a foreigner, they are deported immediately once sentence is served and payments to the fine has been made. With that, let's just face it, it's better to watch the officially released DVD copies of these audiovisual works than serving these gruesome penalties. Now, imagine that a court violated this act, a person violated this act, and is now called to the court to defend himself. What do you think does the court do to the confiscated audiovisual devices and the unauthorized recordings that it contained? According to the Section 12, the court before which a person charged with an offense in violation or contravention of this act, whether or not said person charged is convicted of the offense, may order that any copy of a cinematographic film or other audiovisual work in which copyright subsists, or parts thereof, which appears to the court to be an unauthorized copy, and any audiovisual recording device or other equipment in the possession of the alleged offender or the court, be destroyed or delivered to the owner or the exclusive licensee of the copyright owner, concerned or otherwise dealt within such a manner as the court deems fit. Let me emphasize that, be destroyed or delivered to the owner or the exclusive licensee. Now, notice that the confiscated device and its recording can be destroyed. This could mean that these objects have no importance or value anymore. Also, destroying these materials can also deter camcord-related crimes in the future. Now, let's move on to a different topic, because all of the things that I have discussed to you pertain to us, the typical moviegoers. What about the exhibition facilities, the authorities and implementing agencies? What do they have to do with this bill? First, let me discuss to you the duties of exhibition facilities. Okay, they should post notices in conspicuous areas such as the ticketing booths and entrance to the exhibition facilities, prohibiting people to bring audiovisual recording devices. Failure to do so will render the management to be liable to pay a fine of 50,000 pesos. Next, I will discuss to you the powers of the authorized persons. Again, to recap, authorized persons refer to the members of the Philippine National Police, the National Bureau of Investigation. 1 is enter and search an exhibition facility without a search warrant or paying the admission fee to look out for people violating this act. They are not required to bring a search warrant simply because if they will go through the process of finding a search warrant, then the violator might have escaped. So it's really unethical. Next, remove, destroy, and or keep the audiovisual recording device for evidence purposes. Next is use reasonable force to remove any person or object obstructing him or her to do his or her duties. Next, detain the person for a time not exceeding 18 hours for the purposes of search and inquiry to the person accused as an offender of this law. And last, interrogate, and seek assistance to the operators and other people that are responsible for the said exhibition facility to carry out his or her duties. What about the implementing agencies? They are as follows. The Philippine National Police, in coordination with the National Bureau of Investigation, Optical Media Board, and operators of exhibition facilities, as well as the owners of the audiovisual works, shall enforce the provisions in this Act. The Philippine National Police may deputize people to perform the enforcement functions required in this Act.
With that, honestly, I can say that the law is really strong, yet I don't see any loopholes in it. For example, the duties of the exhibition facilities and implementing agencies are well laid out. Even the specifics of the law are well explained, especially in Section 6, where it is clearly stated that camcorded material used for private purposes is not a legal defense. What does this mean to you? This only means that camcording is wrong and you should never do it. Besides, the implementing agencies have increased their efforts in catching camcorder pirates. For example, the Optical Media Board employed the use of night vision goggles in theaters to identify and apprehend camcorders. And with that, I finally conclude this video. Feel free, I hope that you have learned something from this. Feel free to comment on my video, may it be questions, reactions, go ahead. Again, thank you and good day.